Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 7 of the Christmas Craft Countdown, where I'm releasing a new Christmas craft every day for 20 days. Today's craft project is one for the chocoholics among you, and it is this snowman and reindeer Lindor Lindt holder. So these each hold one of the Lindor Lindt chocolates, which in my opinion are the best chocolates out there. In fact, I had a bit of a tough time making the samples for this project because somehow the chocolates just kept disappearing. I don't know what was happening, but eventually I managed to do it, and here they are. Both of these files are included as part of the Christmas Craft Countdown, so let's see how to download them. First, you need to download the cutting file to make this project. If you aren't already signed up to the Christmas Craft Countdown, go to craftwithsarah.com/Christmas 2021 to join. If you have already purchased the countdown, go to craftwithsarah.com/login to log in to your account and access all of the Christmas Craft Countdown files. Once logged in, click into the Christmas Craft Countdown. Scroll down the page and all the files will become available on the date specified. The files do not expire, so you can download them at any time. The files for both versions of the Lindor Lindt holders are under the Day 7 heading. After downloading the cutting files, you'll need to unzip the folder that they come in. If you aren't sure how to do that, check the link in the description of this video, which contains instructions on how to unzip folders on Windows computers, Macs, and Android and iPhone devices. Once you've unzipped the folder, it's time to upload the SVG files into Cricut Design Space. As you can see, I've already done the reindeer one, so I'll show you how to do it for the snowman. When you've opened up Design Space, start a new project and then go into Upload. Then click Upload Image, and then you can either click Browse to find the file on your computer, or you can drag and drop it in. For Cricut Design Space, you need to upload SVG files, and for all of my files, I start them with SVG in the file name so that you can see really easily which ones to use. Within the folder for this project, there are 4 different SVG files. There are 2 snowmen and 2 reindeer, and the difference between the 2 of each is that one has a little hanging bit at the top, so you could thread a ribbon through it and put it on a tree, and the other one doesn't have that hanging bit. So if you just wanted to give it as a little favour or a gift, then that would be the version to use. And that's the version that I'm showing how to use in the tutorial, but both of them go together exactly the same. So I'm going to drag and drop in my snowman file, and remember it's the one that starts SVG in the file name. It should look like this with all of the pieces on top of each other in the correct position. If yours looks different and you can see all of the layers one next to each other instead of on top, that means you've accidentally uploaded the wrong file. So if that is the case, just click cancel down on the bottom right, try again, and make sure you upload the one which starts SVG. But this is all looking good, so I'm going to go ahead and press upload, and then it will appear in my recent upload, so I can click on it and then press add to canvas, and it will load in at the correct size needed to cut it out and put the little chocolate in the middle. So for the reindeer, this comes in at 4.006 inches wide and 8.585 inches tall. And remember, it's going to be folded in half, so your final height will actually be half of that. And then the little snowman is 2.787 inches wide and 8.196 inches tall. You can make it a little bit bigger or smaller than that if you want, but just remember that the size of the circle in the middle has been specifically designed to fit those Lindor chocolates. So if you change the size too much, then you might find that they won't fit anymore. If you're using a different kind of chocolate, or a sweet perhaps, then you might need to play about with the size until you get it to cut out exactly as you need it to, so that it will hold your sweet in the middle without it falling out. Once you've chosen which design you'd like to make, or if you're going to make both of them like I do, go ahead and cut everything out with your Cricut, and then I'll show you how to stick it together. Here are all the pieces of both of my little Lindor holders cut out. So I've got my reindeer on the left and the snowman on the right, and then I've got my chocolates to go in them. So for the reindeer, I'm using just the standard Lindt ones, the red ones, which are the easiest to find. And for the snowman, I'm using the salted caramel ones because they've got a nice blue colour on the wrapping, So I think that'll look nice with the rest of the snowman. So let's see how to put these together. I'll start with the reindeer. Just going to move all these pieces so that I've got the base. So first, just pick it up, turn it upside down, and then just fold it in half so that the tops of the antlers line up with each other, and then crease it along that bottom line. There we go. And then we can open it up again, get the chocolate, and then I'm just going to sort of push the bottom bit of that wrapper upwards so it's as flat as I can get it. And then turn this round, put the chocolate in there, and then close it up. And then all we'll do to seal it is just add a bit of double-sided sticky tape in there, and it will seal it all up, and then that chocolate can't escape. You see, if I try and shake it, it doesn't come out. So that's really how easy they are to make. But before I actually stick this together, I'm going to add the extra details on the front. So let's open it up again and open it out like this. And it is easier to stick the bits on before we add the chocolate in the middle, just because at the moment this is all nice and flat, so it will be easier to glue. Going to start with the nose of the reindeer, and the purpose of this is so that once it's folded, this circular bit covers up that line at the bottom to give it that nice rounded edge to the muzzle of the reindeer. So let's open this up, and then I'm going to get my glue. I'm using Collel glue, and I like this because it doesn't bend or warp the card like some other glues can do. Alternatives include art glitter glue or barely art glue. And then I've just put it into this teeny tiny little needle tip bottle to make it easier. So just add a bit of glue to the bottom of that one. And then stick it on. Actually, I shouldn't have put glue right at the bottom because you don't want to stick it to the other half of the reindeer. So I'm just going to fold that up actually whilst I do this, so I don't accidentally stick this oval bit to the back side, otherwise it won't open up properly. Okay, so I'll actually probably keep it closed until I have until that glue's really dry. Just use a pair of scissors to hold it flat so that I can add the extra bits on the top. So next I've got the top part of the reindeer's head, which is going to sit on there. And, oh, that's the wrong way around. That way around. And actually I can see now I should have put that bit on first because it needs to just tuck under the muzzle of the reindeer. So, oops. But the good thing about using glue for the nose part is that it doesn't dry straight away, so I can just peel it up a little bit at the top to stick this bit underneath. So let's just raise that up a bit, stick that in place, and then I've got the two antlers. Just going to place them on first to make sure I've got them the right way round, which I think that is. So I'm going to add the glue for these onto the base. I just think that'll be a bit easier. And then these line up against those ears. There they are. And then finally I've got the two eyes. Now these are really small, so if you prefer you could just draw the eyes on instead, or you could use some googly eyes to add a little bit of extra character. So these are just going to go on, one there and one there. Let's do a tiny bit of glue. Oh, my glue's got a bubble in it. Let's just get rid of that a minute. I'm just going to add the tiniest dab on the back of this eye. Drop it into place. The glue does dry clear, so it doesn't matter too much if it kind of smushes out the sides a little bit, but it'd be better if it didn't. So it would just look that little bit neater. The second one over the other side. And that is all there is to the front of the reindeer. I'm going to leave that to one side to dry whilst I work on the snowman. Now this one, the eyes are even smaller. So again, you can just draw them on or use googly eyes if these are a little bit fiddly, which they really are. The nose is quite small too. All right, so just like we did before, I'm going to turn it upside down and then fold it up, crease it down that bottom line, and then hold it flat. And for this one, we've got a few different pieces. Start with the hat, which will go up there. So I'll add some glue on the back. And then stick that on there, lining it up. Okay. Actually, for this one, because it doesn't have anything at the bottom, I'll open it out. That might be a bit easier for the snowman. Then I've got the base of the hat, which is going to go on like this. So again, a bit more glue. Stick that one on. And then there's a bobble for the top. Glue that on there. Next we've got the scarf. And that will just sit on there. These are really quick to put together. And if you're making a lot, so for example for maybe a school classroom or something like that, then they do go together quite quick. And I think as you sort of do more of them, if you're making loads, then they'll get quicker. And I've just realised I've put the glue on the wrong side of this part because it should have gone like that. So it's actually not going to line up properly now. My scarf isn't quite lining up, but it's not that noticeable, so I don't mind too much. And then finally, we've got the gloves. So there'll be one for that side and one for that side. A little bit of glue. Stick them on. And now we can move on to the trickiest part of both of them, which is the eyes and the nose for the snowman. I'll give it some little dabs of glue on there for the eyes. And then one in the middle for the nose. My glue's gone a bit stringy because I left the lid off for ages, which is why I'm sort of swirling my finger around. It's to try and get those strings of glue off. Oh, it's so small. One eye. Two eye. And nose in the middle. Oh, it's so cute once those little details go on. Alright, so that one needs to dry now, but I reckon the reindeer will probably be dry enough that we can add the chocolate in. So just like I did at the beginning, you want to kind of fold in that bottom bit of the wrapper and then place it in so the writing's up the right way. And then we're going to close it around on the back and just add a bit of double-sided tape, which is going to stick it at the top. So here's my double-sided tape runner. I love this thing. And just put a few bits on there. This is quite nice for this type of thing because it will pull apart quite easily when you want to get the chocolate out. So now you can just put that into place. And when we close it up, it will all stick together. So it is a little bit fiddly. I'm all fingers and thumbs today. And you see at the moment I've got the bottom bit, which is poking out the back. So if you didn't want that, then just try and get it over to one side. You could even kind of stick it maybe on the chocolate and then just try and squidge that bottom part of the wrapper into the bottom of the reindeer nose. So now that is looking a little bit neater on the other side. But we're not really going to be looking at the back of it, so I wouldn't worry too much about lining it up perfectly. And then just line up those antlers. Get all of that tape stuck together. I'm just going to give it a really good press. There. And there we go. That is one of our Lindor chocolate holders. And it looks alright from the back. But from the front it is super pretty. And if you wanted to, you could use glue instead of the double-sided tape. But there, that's one of them. And now Mr. Snowman. So just the same thing. Put some double-sided tape along the top. You want quite a bit of it because the chocolate is quite large, so you don't want it to pop apart after a couple of hours. And then let's put that in his tummy. Line up the top bits and push down to seal. And again, the back, actually I've done the back better on that one, it looks neater. But there we go, our two little chocolate favours with Lindor Lindt chocolates in the middle. They are really cute and they would make excellent stocking fillers this Christmas. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make these adorable little chocolate holders for Christmas. Don't forget the files for these ones, as well as the matching hanging versions which can go on a Christmas tree, are available at craftwithsarah.com/Christmas 2021. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another Christmas craft. Bye!